All right, let's dive into our next module here, a specific one about starting to actually create an assignment and using ChatGPT for that. Now, an important thing to understand: ChatGPT can absolutely create an assignment, any assignment, a modified assignment. It can do what we're looking for, but in order to get it to do that, we have to do a couple things first. The first thing is understanding we have to be able to communicate with ChatGPT. And we communicate with ChatGPT through this dialog box at the very bottom. And it, by default, it says send a message. So the idea, though, is you're going to converse or prompt, ask questions to ChatGPT and rephrase and ask questions or give commands as you're trying to refine what you're doing. So what is a prompt? Well, let's actually do that. I'm going to type this in and say, what is a prompt? Actually, I've got something here. I'm going to go, what's the prompt? And also, overview of benefits using ChatGPT to generate assignment prompts. So a prompt is essentially just a series of questions or comments guiding chat into doing something, guiding chat into a specific direction. Okay, so think of it like you have a million people of information, and when you go to ChatGPT, if you say, give me an assignment, it doesn't know what of those million people, which millionth person to talk to and get the information from. So it just gives you one perspective or one view. Whereas if you are more specific in how you ask questions, saying, hey, I would like an assignment that is a critical thinking assignment, that's for students of this age, that's in this type of class, that's built around this type of idea. You get the point. The more you give ChatGPT, the better it can create a result for you. So all I did was I put in a comment saying, what's a prompt? And then overview of the benefits of using ChatGPT to generate assignment prompts. And chat gave me this. So it doesn't know why I'm asking it. It just gave us information. So before we create an assignment, let's sort of think through this concept of a prompt. So it says an assignment prompt. So here is an example of a prompt or a question, meaning how you could talk with chat and it will give you a result. So chat's recommendation is saying, as a teacher, you're always looking for ways to create engaging and meaningful assignments for students. In recent years, a new tool has emerged to help you do that, which is called ChatGPT. So you could actually give this as a prompt for ChatGPT if you wanted. Or we can make it even simpler. Let's make it even easier and sort of take a restart and reset back. So here is an actual assignment that chat created for me in a very simple way. But I'm going to say this. Chat, I would like you to create a marketing assignment. Now, this is a valid prompt, a valid question. I'm going to hopefully type it correctly and spell it correctly. The good thing is you don't have to be spelling things correctly. Chat is a natural language model, so it will usually understand what you're trying to say. So I'm just going to say in a simple way, chat, I would like you to create a marketing assignment. What we're doing is giving it a prompt. We're asking it what to do or telling it, we're saying, hey, we want this and it's going to produce that. The problem though with that prompt is it doesn't know what about marketing we care about. It doesn't know who it's for. It doesn't know what level. It doesn't know our learning objectives. It doesn't know the way we want to assess it. It doesn't know everything that we put into building an assignment. So it gave us, here is a prompt, right? So you work as a marketing consultant for a school business that's looking to increase its customer base and sales. So your task is to create a marketing plan for this business that includes strategies for both. So chat created an assignment for you. Perfect. So we say, here is sort of the scenario. Here are the guidelines of what the students would have to do. And then also here are it talks about research and planning, and you're supposed to have APA formatting, and it should be 5 to 7 pages. So here is an actual assignment, very basic, very simple, but ChatGPT created us an assignment around marketing that I didn't ask for, but it focused on increasing a customer base and sales. So let's use this and actually build it out, make it something more valuable to us. So I'm a marketing professor, so let's say I want to create a marketing assignment and I'm going to build out this sort of structure that chat's done. And all I've done is said, I would like you to create a marketing assignment. So now chat remembers this conversation. ChatGPT remembers this whole conversation. So think of this conversation as the lens with which ChatGPT views what you're trying to do. As you ask more questions, all of that information stays in this conversation and helps foster or helps guide the framework with which ChatGPT will then create a response for you, trying to give you answers. So let's take this assignment, which you could leave, and it's not perfect, but you could absolutely have this as an assignment. I'm a very creative person, but if I was very lazy, I'm like, perfect, I got my starting point. There we go. So let's actually build out this assignment. So what we can do is say, so chat said the concept for this assignment. I said it's a marketing assignment, and it chose the concept that students are a marketing consultant for a small business, and the idea they're trying to do is to help increase the customer base for sales, the customer base and sales. And then all of the responses or the information is around that. So let's just do this. Let's change the idea from to increase its customer base and sales. We'll change that to something else. So I'll say, chat, I want to change the focus from increasing the customer base and sales to improving the use of their website in their marketing mix. Now I left it open-ended, but we're going to change the focus from increasing the customer sales base, which is, you could have been anything, to increasing and to improving the use of their website in the marketing mix. And chat should correct and adjust everything to fit that, because we didn't tell it to change the formatting. We just told it to change the context, the topic. So now chat's readjusting this outline to fit that topic. So it says you're a marketing consultant for a small business, which we haven't changed that. It's still there. That has a website, but is struggling to efficiently incorporate it into their marketing mix. Your task is to create a marketing plan for this business that focuses on optimizing blah, 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 blah. Then all of this is adjusted to fit what those needs are. And it still comes back to the same result. I don't know if you're sitting there being enamored by this or excited or fearful, but for me as an educator, I'm sitting here being like, this is amazing, because now this is just the tip of the iceberg. I can customize and craft anything. I can create an assignment that fits exactly what I want, that I don't have to go through and type it word for word. I'm at least able to have chat do that for me, guide me with ideas, guide me in a direction where I'm focusing its lens, the way it's viewing it, but it's able to produce the thought, the output for me very quickly. So as an educator, we can really create tons of valuable assets or insights very quickly. We could also try and keep this at a basic sense for a basic class and course, but let's just say this is a perfect assignment. Let's just say we love exactly this. Well, what can we do next? Well, we can actually say, chat, I want, let's just do this. So let's just say, this is getting really specific, but because we can do so much with this. So let's just say we have the assignment. Now we need the rubric and potentially any of the materials connected to this. So I'm going to say, I need a rubric for this assignment. Now, I could say I need a rubric for this assignment. I could also say, can you create for me a rubric for this assignment? I could say, I need a rubric. I could say anything and it would give me that result. But I just said, I need a rubric for this assignment, and we're going to see what it's going to do. Now it's going to use this last assignment, hopefully, and it's going to create a rubric for me. And here is the rubric it's creating. So it did it in not a table, but you can take this and put it into a table. And its rubric is based off 4 scales, and it talks about the analysis of the current website, the target audience, the content strategy, the online marketing strategies, the measurement, and the organizational clarity. So, and then the grammar and mechanics. There you go. So it actually created the DNA, everything for a rubric. We're going to go one step further though. So we've created our assignment, which is a very basic assignment, and hopefully you get the idea of, well, I just need to ask it for what I want, and it will create that. And we can do that. So it created a rubric for us based off the criteria. It added all of these criteria into a rubric. It gave you scales to grade it on. And you can take this and put it into your own table, which I normally would. But I'm going to go one step further and ask chat to do it. I'm going to say, chat, can you put the rubric into a table for me to see? And what I'm going to do is, this is important where it's better to be specific. So instead of saying, can you put the rubric into a table? There's an assumption that that is the only rubric, which is that's all that's there. But I want to make sure specifically. So I'm going to say, chat, can you put the above rubric or the rubric above the one you just created, they're just different ways to describe it. But we want to make sure chat focuses on that specific thing. Because remember, anything in the conversation, it could pull upon, right? So let's just say you had 5 examples of rubrics, it may not know the one you want. So if you say, hey, I need this example, I want this rubric, and so on. So I'm going to say, can you put the above rubric into a table for me to see? And it's going to now do that. There you go. So now it's putting it into a table, and that table is one we can copy and paste, move it over. It's just a different visual way to look at it. Now, what's important is as it's outputting this, it will have a limit for output at one point. There will be a point where it may stop and not continue. And that is one of the limitations of ChatGPT, is that it has a limitation on output. Now, I know that it gave me this whole output already and it didn't stop, which is great. But look at this. So this is a rubric now that we can use as a starting point. We can say, here is our basic assignment, right? We can get way more advanced, way more specific, way more in depth. But here's our assignment that ChatGPT created. We gave it some guidance. And then now it gave us a rubric. And I said, can you put that rubric into a table? And it has now put all of that into it. Now, I'm hoping you can see the possibilities of what we can do as educators in creating and developing and just being more efficient with what we're doing. Remember, the really important point says it still comes from your mind. It still comes from what you're looking for. So if you have an idea what you want, you can really get dramatically awesome results almost right away. But if you're like, I'm just stuck for new ideas, you can absolutely voice those ideas, those concerns, the concepts to ChatGPT, and it will easily draft and pull this together. And that's really the idea of creating an assignment with ChatGPT. So that's an example of creating a brand new assignment. We're also going to look at creating or rejigging or modifying an old assignment. So I've got a new dialogue here. It's funny, I just put an old assignment in an example and chat gave me a whole response. I don't care about the response, but it created this for me. I was like, oh, interesting. I don't know what it was pulling from, but it just gave me this. So I'm going to copy and paste in an old assignment of mine, and I'm going to have chat rework that assignment and modify it for me. So let me get the assignment here, and we'll go through. Now, this assignment is a assignment for a web design course I had built. I'm modifying it a bit, but basically I've got my assignment plan, and here is part of it. So I'm going to take all of this content. Now we'll see what happens. So here is the actual assignment, and it's broken up with different information. There's different breakdowns of content here. It's very messy. The students don't get that version. But what I want to do is I actually want to take this content and just go in my Word document, highlight, copy, and paste it. And ChatGPT should be able to take all of it. So I'm going to just highlight that, go to the dialog box and click paste. And it should be enough. Is there an error? Nope, it's enough. It can fit it in. Perfect. And now all I did was copy and paste it. I didn't ask it to do anything. So all it's doing by default, it's sort of just regurgitating and restating what the assignment is. And this assignment itself, it's a website plan, and basically the students have 5 different phases, and based off the phases, they have to talk about their audience, the purpose of the website, their audience, different goals of the website, different content of the website, and it's a 20% assignment, so it's not small. They have to do an SEO plan, they have to do a lot of different things and explain that idea. So stick with me. So let's take this assignment and let's see if we can modify it and change it to be a little bit more updated, let's say, or let's even change the context. Let's say this assignment now has a little bit of a concept of search engine optimization as a topic, but let's actually make it be the whole thing. So let's actually see if we can change this. So right now, within this website assignment, search engine optimization, or that is a specific niche thing, is only one small piece of the assignment. I'm going to use chat and see if I can modify this so it's all about search engine optimization. And you may not know what that is as a topic, that's okay, but I just want to show you how we can modify this. So I'm going to say chat, and I'm going to use real wording, real language, like it's a real person, even though it's not. Chat, I want you to take the above assignment, and I need to change the topic to be focused on SEO versus the entire website plan. can you do that? Can you do that for me? And all I said was, chat, I want to take my assignment that I copy and pasted in, and I want to change the topic to be focused only on SEO versus the whole website as a whole, where SEO is a small piece of it. Now, I want to see what it does. So I just put that in, I hit enter, I'm going to scroll down here, and now it's actually creating an assignment for me. So it says, write a 1,000 word report, and so on. Now, this is important. This is really important. So it's creating the whole assignment for me. It's going through and giving a grading rubric, submission guidelines, and then the topic of the assignment. And you might think, oh my goodness, will I get that every single time? No. And I want to explain something here, which will be relevant to this. So this is what chat gave me. And if you look at the concept of the assignment, which would be this, it focuses on SEO strategies for a website. And it changed the focus from just how do you build a website as a whole, I mean, your target audience, your customers, the different elements, to just SEO. So it did do what I wanted. Did it do it well? No. And one of the reasons why it didn't do it well is this. When I first started this conversation, at the very beginning, I just typed in old assignment example so that I would have a marker that I could go back into. Well, the chat took that and created an old assignment for me, not connected to what I wanted. And if you notice here, that assignment was a 1,000 word assignment, and it had the instructions, a rubric, submission guidelines, and a date. That's what it created. I didn't give it guidance. It just did that before I even brought in my website plan. When I started our conversation, I said, hey, here's my website plan, and I copy and pasted it in. And what happened though was I wanted the same format as what I submitted. In my brain, I didn't say it though. I just said, here's an assignment. Can you change the topic? Chat, by default, this is important to know. Whatever conversation you have, that information's there and it will reference it. It made an assignment based off this format, which I didn't even have anything to have. I had no connection to. So if you notice here, this was my original assignment. I copy and pasted it in. It's quite a lengthy assignment. And then I said to chat, very long assignment. I said to chat, I want the above assignment. I need you to change the topic to be focused on SEO versus a website plan. And it did, but it took the format it created from before and applied it to that, which is not what I want. So how do we get around to get it in the same format that we want? So you can do this. You can say, chat, that format is not what I want. I want the assignment to be in the format that I gave you for my website plan. And now I'm going to hit enter and see what it does. So I'm redirecting it saying you didn't give it in the format I wanted. And now it is giving me it in the format I asked for. So now it's copying the format that I submitted for my project, and it's giving me that new assignment in that format. Yes, it's including concepts of the grading rubric and submission guidelines, but now it's following that format a little more closely. But this is an example where you can take an old assignment, put it in the ChatGPT, and then at a very simple level, start to rework it. Now, an important thing, an assignment, you have to think, what are the learning objectives? What's the point behind this assignment? Where does it fit in our project? Where does it fit in the whole spectrum of this class? And if you have that information, you can already put that into ChatGPT and say, here's information you need to know. And then when you submit an assignment, you can actually go through. But at the end of the day, I don't want this to be too complex, but I just want to show you and hopefully give you some ideas that we can create new content quite easily. We can create new assignments just by saying, hey, I need an assignment on this topic. You can expand elements of that assignment by saying, hey, can you create a rubric for me? Or can you expand this specific section? And you can also take old assignments and say, ChatGPT, here's an old assignment. Can you rework that? Can you change the topic? Or can you add in this? Can you add in that? So at the end of the day, there's a lot of things we can do as educators with ChatGPT if we think how to craft it on our own and have it actually execute what we're thinking. So hopefully that was helpful and not too advanced. It's supposed to be a basic course, but it's hard to not be basic when it's such an amazing tool that can do a ton of great things. But hopefully that was helpful. And more importantly, stay connected, keep practicing, keep playing with it, and I'll see you guys in the next module.